Hello and welcome to Rob's video blog. Today we have a potpourri of topics to talk about, so let's dive into it. The first one, and vitally important, is maple syrup. Now, I don't know if you have actually ever had grade A fancy real maple syrup, but for the vast majority of my life I've just had, Aunt Jemima's maple syrup, which I thought was good. And a while back, my brother had a martini party, and he had purchased a bottle of grade A fancy real maple syrup, which costs about 4 to 5 times the amount of an Aunt Jemima not real maple syrup. But let me tell you, I put this maple syrup on my waffle, and it was the most amazing waffle I had ever had. Real maple syrup is so much better than the crap that comes in the Aunt Jemima bottle or whatever brand that you might buy that. If you haven't had it, it's worth the extra money. Spend it, try the real maple syrup. I guarantee you, you will not go back to fake maple syrup. It's that good. And in my opinion, I mean, I don't use syrup that much. I don't eat it every day, so spending a little bit more on a bottle that's going to last me, half of a year or a year, it's totally worth it. But if you've never had real grade A fancy maple syrup on pancakes or French toast or waffles, you got to try it, because it just blew my mind how good it was. Every morning when I get up and I have breakfast, I usually put on the TV, and I try not to watch the news because there's such garbage on the news, but like the stuff that passes for news or science or entertainment, it blows my mind. I was watching the news the other day, and it said new study comes out that shows that people who watch food and cooking shows tend to gain weight more than those who don't. Now, do they go on the news and go, new study shows that people who breathe oxygen live longer? I mean, a 4-year-old can discern the fact that people who watch TV shows about food probably are cooking and eating more food than people who don't watch TV shows about food. If you're interested in food, you're going to watch TV shows about it, you're going to cook it, you're going to eat it, you're going to read about it, and consequently, you're most likely to gain more weight. I'm not sure who, 1, commissioned the study, 2, thought that this study needed to be done, 3, paid for the study, and 4, thought it was a good idea to report it, that was newsworthy. But this is the kind of crap that goes on, Good Morning America and stuff like that as like news, but that's why I don't watch it. But nonetheless, kind of ridiculous if you ask me. I went to the DMV a couple months ago to renew my driver's license, and you're going through different forms of identification. I pull out my social security card, and I'm looking at this thing, and go grab your social security card and look at it. It's just like a piece of thick paper. It's not even like real cardstock. There's no security fibers on it. There's no hologram on it. It's literally a piece of paper that someone stuck in a typewriter and typed your numbers on it, and that's it. And this is supposed to be the end-all be-all identification document for you living in the United States. It blows my mind that that's it. So it seems kind of strange to me. We went out to dinner, and I went to lunch a while ago, and I really like salads. I'm a big fan of eating salad after you eat your meal. I just feel like the salad, especially when you have something that's very tart or something that's very sweet, it just has very strong flavor. The salad really cleanses your palate, so when you're done eating, you're not tasting, tomato sauce for 3 hours from now. It really cleanses everything. And from a biological standpoint, it also kind of pushes everything through your system. So I'm a big advocate of eating salad after your meal, not before it. With that being said, I order a lot of salads. And listen, I understand the aspect of presentation of food, but when I order a salad, I don't want you to bring me a wedge of lettuce, a half sliced tomato, some onions, and a cut up chicken breast just spread along the top of it, and you bring it to me in a little tiny bowl. How am I then supposed to mix these ingredients? If you've ever tossed a salad, you know that you need a big bowl relative to the amount of salad in there, so you can really mix it in there good and you get it all. So when you stick your fork in there, you get all the flavors. They do this in almost every salad that I order. It's well, here's a wedge of lettuce, and here's a wedge of this, and here's your chicken breast. It's well, what am I paying you for? I'm paying you to cook it, put it together, and most importantly, chop it up and mix it. Otherwise, it's not a salad. You just brought me lettuce, tomato, and a piece of chicken. That's not a salad. You have to dice it and you have to mix it to make it a salad. So for the love of God, please mix the salads before you bring it to my table. One other thing that drives me nuts is, and the garbage company that we have that picks up our garbage at our house, they do a really, really good job. They're really only supposed to pick up, so many, like 1 or 2 garbage cans. And I mean, if I have a party and I got 4 or 5 bags and, tons of garbage, they pick it up, they take it, no questions asked. Sometimes they even throw, some bigger items like a chair or something like that, and I just stuff it in the garbage can, they take it. So I have no complaints about that. The only complaint that I do have is when they put the garbage cans back, they turn the lids upside down. Rather than just put the lid back on the garbage can, they turn the lids upside down and put the garbage cans back. And here's the problem with that. One, there's just garbage in there. So now whatever residuals in there, it's not being sealed in the can, and all the smells and everything are going everywhere. But more importantly, when it rains, all the rain collects in the lid falls into the thing, and now all the water's in there. So maybe I had a dry, banana peel in there or something like that. Well, now there's water in there. Now there's bacteria and mold growing, and it gets slimy and it gets disgusting. I just don't understand. You have the garbage can, you have the lid, you know the way the lid's supposed to go on. Why do they put it on upside down? I don't understand it. I was at the supermarket the other day, and supermarket, obviously there's a lot of food there, but have you ever actually stood back in the dairy department and looked at how much freaking yogurt is in the dairy? I mean, it's insane. There's the half of the dairy aisle is just yogurt. And I guess that's good. I like yogurt. I know I eat a lot of yogurt, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't really see that many people eating yogurt. Who's buying all this yogurt? I work in an office, and I work with women, I work with men, I work with older people, I work with younger people. Gotta be honest, it's like me and one other person in an office of 100 people that I ever see eating yogurt. Who's buying all this yogurt? Maybe it's for school children for their lunches, which is good. But the quantity and the variety in yogurt blows my mind. I think it's great. I love quantity and variety because you can pick whatever you want. You want it with crunchies, you want it with berries, you want it natural, you want it with stevia, you want it with chemicals. You get to pick whatever you want. I think that's fantastic. It just kind of I finally looked back and I was like, holy God, it can be a little, if you're specific about your yogurt, it can be a little overwhelming. Which yogurt do I pick? So I don't get that detailed into it. I pick the yogurt that I like and I move along, but I can't believe the massive market that there is for yogurt. And maybe I feel like it's a new thing too. I feel like 5 or 6 years ago when I went to the supermarket, there was the yogurt section, but it didn't take up half the dairy aisle. I think yogurt has obviously exploded. It's become very big. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, which is, and I know people have lamented about this, but I just have to, is gym etiquette. And I honestly think gym etiquette actually has nothing to do with being in the gym. Gym etiquette actually has to do with not being a total D-bag. Okay, because what do you see people doing at the gym? The worst thing that people could possibly do is stand directly in front of the weights. They go over to the weight rack, they pick up the weights, and they stand directly in front of the weights, 2 feet in front of the mirror, and they're doing curls, or they're doing this, or whatever it is that they're doing. But they have no regard for the fact that, hey, there's a rack of weights here that is for everyone to access. Maybe I shouldn't stand directly in front of it. What if someone wants to get the weights that I am blocking? Well, they're just saying tough crap, I'm here doing my curls or whatever. It's freaking rude and it's really irritating. The second thing that drives me nuts about the weight rack is it's a weight rack. It's not a bench. Do not lean on it and do friggin' lat rows. That's not what it's there for. It's there to hold the weights. It's not for you to exercise on. Number 3 that drives me nuts is the mirrors in the gym are there for a reason. They're there for checking and making sure that you're using the proper form. We all have egos and we all like to look at ourselves in the mirror. But please, for the love of God, temper it just a little bit. If I am sitting doing a military press a good 6-7 feet away, allowing people to walk in front if they have to, gain access to the weights, but if I'm there really trying to push one out, don't walk in front of me, stop, stand there, put your hand on your hip and check your iPhone and jerk around on your iPhone. It's like I'm there actively doing, I'm using this piece of item, and you just walked right in front. If I was having a conversation with someone, would you just walk right between us and stop and put your back to me and start jerking on your iPhone? No, you wouldn't. So don't stand between me and the mirror when I'm trying to work out. I am using the mirror. The other thing that drives me nuts is like sharing. You were always taught to share, right? When I get on a machine and I do a set, I get up, I stand up, I stand next to the machine, I take a drink of water, but I allow the machine to be accessed because you know what? I'm gonna work out, my set's gonna take me 35, 45 seconds, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna take a 45-second to 1 minute break. If somebody wants to jump in, by all means jump in, knock your socks off. But you see people get on machines, they do this, and then they sit there and they jerk on their phone, and then they're doing this, and then they're doing that, and they sit there for like 3 minutes, and you're like, dude, get off the machine and let me work in. And there have been times where someone's actually been using a bench or using a machine or something, and I've asked them, like, they'll get done with the set, I'll let them finish with the set, I'll be like, hey, can I work in real quick? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I got two more. It's like, no, can I work in? Because you're going to sit here for the next minute to minute and a half, and I'm only gonna take 30 seconds, 45 seconds to do my exercise, so let me get access to the machine. It just, you know, it's just people are, and I get it that it occurs a little bit more in the gym because you got your headphones in and you're like, and you're usually very focused on what you're doing. You're not really paying attention to, you know, you're not talking to people, jerking around with people, though some people do when they go to the gym. I, by and large, you know, I'm getting in the workout zone and I'm not really, you know, that focused on what other people are doing. But it's just, people aren't aware of like, hey, you're in a gym with a bunch of other people. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your interactions with people and how you affect people. I mean, Jesus, like, take 2 seconds, you know, it's just, it drives me totally nuts. The other thing that drives me nuts is dropping weights. For the love of God, don't drop the weights. There's like 2 scenarios in which you should drop the weights. When like you've lifted something and you're in danger of like dropping on yourself or injuring yourself, you should drop the weight. It should not be dropped every single set that you do. Don't slam plates on machines, don't drop dumbbells, don't drop curl bars, because one, it's really dangerous. I'm not that concerned about you. I'm concerned about me walking by and you dropping something on my foot, or you dropping something and a clip flying off, or a weight flying off, or destroying the equipment that we're all paying for. So don't drop the freaking weights. And you know what? If you're such a tough guy, you could put on all this weight and push all this weight, then you know what? You're a tough enough guy to take that weight and bring it back down controlled and put it on the floor, or bring it back down controlled and put it on the rack, or bring it back down controlled and put it back on the machine. There's no reason to be throwing weights. There's no reason to be dropping weights. So that's pretty much it for this one. Little bit of lamenting there, but couple of things that I just wanted to talk about, and as I've gone through, as I go through, I'm just kind of writing myself messages so that I have material to talk about. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.